Right, we're starting from Mezeh Yuvon Shaychus Inyan Zeh. So from this, we understand the connection. We was discussing before the idea of the windows and the cracks. And he talked about that there were 12 windows. And he wants to tie this also to the idea of the rose. A rose has 13 leaves. So the 12 plus 1, as he's going to say, equals 13, also connects with the idea of Shoshana Bein HaChoichim. Umezeh Yuvon Shaychus Inyan Zeh. So from this, we can understand the connection to this idea. We brought that Shoshana Bein HaChoichim before. The Nekudas Hamem that goes down, it's called Adnai, as he explained earlier. So this has to do with the Shoshana Ben HaChoichim. Ki hinei, Bezoyer Horaki Hashom Reish Parshas Breishis Dibra Maschil Ma Shoshana Pirush. So over there he says that the Shchinta Tato Hoimedes Al Yud Beis Bokor. That's from Malachim over there, the way he built the Beis Hamikdash. So he built there was the 12 bokor, 12 cattle, v'hayam oimed alehem, and then there was a pool of water on top of those bokor standing there, milmailo. So if you have 12 bokor and the yam, harehem yud gimel, those are 13, and vehem yud gimel olin diloh, those are the 13 leaves of the Shoshana. Asher ke'ein ze mamish. So it is actually similar to this. Who inyan is the idea of Yud Beis Chaloines Hanal, the idea of the 12 windows, the Knesses Hagdoilo de Leilo Chulu V'Dai Lemeilu. Okay, so he connects that to the idea of the Shoshana. So, but basically, we discussed that there is the two levels. There is the level of Shoshana, of Chaloines, there's a level of windows, and there's also the level of cracks. So basically, the window is from Keser to Atzilus. There's a window, but from Malchus of Atzilus to Bria, over there is a crack. You have to break through because over there's a real wall. There's a real partition. There's no opening over there. But he's trying to say that even in Atzilus in Bria itself, we also have the two madregas. We have a level of a window, and we have a level of an opening, and then we have a level of a wall. He's going to say between the real klippas, there is a wall. And through tshuva, you break through that wall to bring them up. Let's look inside. We can understand this idea of the windows and the cracks in Bia itself, because how could we compare this idea of the windows in Bia to the path that we the chaloinus hainu ba'atzilus. Earlier we said that the windows are in Atzilus, which means the light comes not through a curtain and cracks. It's open. It's an open window. Coming through a curtain and cracks means you have to break through the curtain. And here we're saying that there's also the idea of chaloines and the cracks within the level of Bia itself. The idea is the Kamoy Sheyesh Mosav Bein Atzilus Libya, just like there is a curtain in between Atzilus and Bia. That's why we had the Harakim in Pashtas, as we explained earlier, And what that does is, Shebatzilus hu bittul amiti. In Atzilus is a true bittul. Bittul hayesh. But it's not bittul hayesh, it's the true, it's yichudei ilah, it's the true bittul. Ubibiyah, but in biyah, machmas hamosach naase b'chinas yesh, there is a curtain in biyah. That's why it is a yesh, it's only bittul hayesh. The crack allows, as he explained before, to be the bittul hayesh. He says, "Kachal derech zeh yesh mosach hamafsik ben kedusha l'sitra achra." There is also a curtain that interrupts in between kedusha and the other side, and sitra achra. Shehu mosach mavdil gamur. That is a complete cover, curtain, that separates totally. Shemayli mumastir ha'oir, that blocks and hides the light. That's the sitra achra. Achenase nifrod mamesh, until it becomes totally separated. Kemoi heicholos achitzonim, like the rooms of the outers, which are totally separated. Mashikosu kol zeh. Beparshas Lech Lecha b'divra maschil v'leikora oida shim chavra. Hinei al yidei hatshuva b'leiv nishbar, through tshuva, and a broken heart, v'ruach nishbar, a broken spirit, meshabrim mosach hanal. We break through that curtain, that cover, that complete cover between kedusha and klippa. We break through. So also that the weekly should also become on the purity of the holiness. And that's the idea of the charakim, of the cracks. The hainu shviras mosach hanal. That is the breaking of the above curtain. So that's going to omnam hachaloinis. What are the windows? Zehu hagilui k'moy shehu b'briya l'maylo mibchinas mosach hamafsik ben kedusha. The level of the chaloinis is when the revelation is as it is in b'riya, which is beyond higher. It's not curtain, it's not covered, it's not interrupted between kedusha. Over there, there's an interruption. They have to break through. But in the rest of B'riya, over there, you don't have a curtain separating. It's a window. It's open. And that happens. That comes through opening of the heart. The Hainu, Simcha v'tuv levav merev koil, Simcha v'tuv leiv merev koil. The joy and the gladness, goodness of heart from all that you have, that follows the level of leiv nishbar chudu. The leiv nishbar makes the crack in that wall, and the simcha and tuv levav that follows opens the window to get the level of bria fully, not through a crack. Similar, we can explain the statement of the Zohar, the Parshas B'chul Koisai. So over there it talks about what happens on Yontev. It says there, V'soli kuslin, and the walls are removed. Li'istakolu lashgocha benikve koisvla alahu, so that he can look and supervise in between the cracks of the walls on them. So what does that mean? Upirush solik. What it means that it's removed. What does the solik mean? Hainu shebiyomtev hahamshocha nimshach al yidei olam habriya v'yitzira v'hasiya, that on Yontev it comes out, the mshocha comes through olam habriya v'yitzira v'hasiya, and they go up to there. The hamshocha that is nimshach they go up to there, so there is no more. The hamshocha doesn't go through any cracks, any walls, but they go up to the level. No more blockage. Okay. Now we're going to explain why is there a plural in chaloinis. What are the different? Chaloin is a window. Why do we say here chaloinos? Mashgiach min chaloin. What is the double? What is the two? What are the many windows over here? The inyan chaloinos loshon rabbi. What is the idea of chaloinos windows in a plural? Shloimer al derech mashikosu b'zoya chelik beis daf lamed zayin amadala b'pirush. Over there explaining, it says hamashpili lirois. Hashem descends to see. There is different levels of supervision of Hashem. One comes lirois hamashpili lirois mikisra likisra chulu min hira linhira, from one keser to the next keser, from one light to the next light, which means v'hainu kiniska li'il, as mentioned before. It's miyisoy da'arich ampin l'chochma ilah, from the level of yisoid of arich ampin of kesed, the way it comes to chochma ilah is one window, and then yisoid abba, and from the level of yisoid of chochma to come down to malchus, it goes through another window, chulu ukinal. Ba'ayin shom b'migdash melech. B'sefer emek hamelech shar hasheni, Perik Aleph, Pirush. Over there, he previously not just here. We're talking about two windows. Over there, he says Mashgiach min hachaloinos. So it says hachaloinos is actually hey chaloinos. Those are five windows. The hainu hey b'chinos ahavaya. Those are the five levels in Havaya, which would be hey partsufim. When im hakoitza elyon shel hayud, that is together when you have four letters. If you add also the point of the yud, the koitz of the yud, you get five. Vehem harubis hashamayim hanoizlim chochma. Those are the windows of the sky which drip chochma. Val derech zeh, we're also going to teach the word hacharakim. So we say hey charakim. And that would be the Hey Gevuris. That would be the five level of Gevuris. So the Ayin Shom, the Hainu Gam the Mailam Atzilus, look over there, that is also higher than Atzilus. Okay, this was a real long parenthesis over here. The Hine Bizgalus HaMelech. When the king is revealed, the revelation of the king. So basically, through the window, through the cracks, but we have the revelation of the king. The king comes revealed through the openings. So when the king comes to the level of revelation, yes, madregas, rabbis, chalukas. There is various different madregas. Like the pasuk says that al kisei malchusoi asher b'shushan habirachulu. So it was representing Hashem, he b'meach hashverish, and it was v'shnas b'yah kisei malchusoi shushan habirach. So we find two parties. We find a party for the officers. We find a party for the older people. Rebbe is going to explain the two levels which connect or get to see the king. We have the levels of the officers, which is the higher neshamas. Then we have the level of all Yidden that get to three through the chalonis get to see the king. He makes a party for all of his officers, for all of the servants. Chulu. And you had the officers of all the countries before the king. And afterwards, he makes it l'chol ha'om hanimtzoyim b'Shushan. He makes it for all the people that are in Shushan, the megodol ve'hatkotten, whether big or small, b'chatzar ginas bisan hamelech, in the courtyard, in the garden of the king's palace, in the garden. Likewise, we also have Ubinas Hariya Shamil Mailo, in the level of vision of seeing that comes from above. Shabchinas sort of avodov, who are the sort of avodov? He's going to say in a minute after the brackets, those are the Neshamas HaGavois, the high souls. Kimesha Kosu, do the bracket, Kimesha Kosu. B'mokom acher b'inyan, Mamer Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, Rabbi Chaim ben Wolosow. He said about Rabbi Chaim ben Wolosow, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai said about him, Sha'ani kisar lifnei hamelech, v'hu ke'eved lifnei hamelech. He says that about himself. He says before Hashem, he's like an officer. And Rabbi Chaim ben Wolosow, when he prayed and asked Hashem, he's like a servant. Says the Gemara se perikei de brachas. By Mashikosa posik be'er chafaru sorim chulu ube'inyan eved b'divra maschil ve'atu yigdol. Al kol ponim. So we're saying the sort of avodov. Hey, bechinas neshamas hagavoyis. They are the highest souls that lived shebizman Beis Hamikdash, that war in the time of the Beis Hamikdash. So they hoyu mekablim bechinas the iyo mekise malchusei chulu. They would get the level of the iyo al kise malchusei. They would get it from the kise malchus. Pirush. What does that mean? Bigolois niglois bechinas kise malchusei. The level of kise malchusei is revealed. Bebeis hamalchus moichach pesach haboyis. In the house of the Malchus of the kingdom, opposite the Pesach HaBayis, when that is revealed. So then that's the sort of avodah shubichinas gavoya, madrega gavoya meidaylo. That is a high level and a very high step, very elevated. Ayin Beitz Chaim Shar Kisa HaKoved. Over there he says shehu heichal kochim debriya. That is the heichal kochim debriya. Ayin B'Sefer Shebeironim. Inami, another way, that this is a Malchus Atzilus itself is called Kisei. So either higher or Malchus, the Parsha Zohar. So, and that's what we say, Kisei Malchusoi Asher B'Shushan. That is the level of Shushan. Shushan is the level of Shoshana. That's the level of this, the flower, the rose. We talked before. Bechinas Shoshanas ha'amukim. The rose, the deep. Shoshan emek hayumachu. So that's represents, we say this in the Tavushas, Hamokim Shoshanem Makayuma, a very deep, high level. It's a level of Keser. Mashein Kim Bizman Shein Beis Hamikdash Kayom, as opposed to when the Beis Hamikdash is not existent. Sorry, Gilu B'chinu Madrega Shenis. Then we need a revelation of the second level. Shehi Bachatzar Ginas Bisan Hamelech. That is in the courtyard, not in the Kisei Malchusoi, not Noichach Haboyis, not in the Beis HaMalchus. This is already in the courtyard outside. That is for the souls that are not up to the higher level. Shehi L'Cholom Animtzoim B'Shushan. That's for everybody who's in Shushan. The Hainu Kol Mi Sheyesh Leinitzitz Alakus Mimukorish Knesses Yisrael. Anybody who has a godly spark from the source of Knesses Yisrael, Shehi Bechinas Kishoshana Bein Achoichim Begolus, because that spark is considered like a rose between the thorns, between the thorns, while it is in Golus. Which is a revelation after another revelation, one madrega after the lower. In other words, it comes down to the level of the lower madregas, so that everybody who has a spark, that if you are at all in the Shushan is at all connected to that, you still have an ability to get to appreciate that level. Ayin b'zoyar b'tchilosei. Look at the Zohar b'tchilosei. It says begin the is Shoshana v'is Shoshana. There is one Shoshana, because before we were saying Shoshana Sahamokim and Shoshan Emek, that's the level of higher than Keser. Here we're saying this is the Chola Ovanim Tzor b'Shushan, because as in the Zohar it says there's two Shoshanas. There's a Shoshana and Shoshana. Ubezohar Rekiah Shom, Ubezohar Vayichi Dafresh Chopal Vamad Aleph, Ubemigdash Melech Shom. The Shoshana Sahamokim, when we say Shoshana Sahamokim, so Shoshana Elah, that's the upper level of rose. Ube Parshas Kisis Davku Pites Reishon Beis Ube Pirish Haramashom Beda Ki Shoshana Yoinachulu. So over there it talks about also there's an upper level of Shoshana. Va'ayin the Sefer HaMitzvah Siman Kuf Nun Vov Ube Zohar Parshas Pinchas Dav Reish Lamed Gimel Lamed Beis. So because we are in this lower level, and it has to come down in order to get to the level of Re'iyah. In order to come to us, we need a second day Yom Tov. Etzorich lasis Yom Tov Sheni. So we need to make a second day Yom Tov lekabolas gam bechinas Re'iyah, to understand, also to get the level of Re'iyah, gam bechinas zu she'ein beis hamikdash kayim, in the level where the beis hamikdash is not existed by its golus. And we don't have the Beis Hamikdash in a level where there's no, excuse me, in a level where there's no Beis Hamikdash, we don't have the ability to go up and see in the proper level, to go up to the Beis Hamikdash. Like the Pasuk says, Mi yale b'har Hashem chulu. Who is able to go up to the mountain of Hashem? So it takes a great madrega to go up to them. We need the Beis Hamikdash. What about those who are in Golus? They're not in Beis Hamikdash. That's why we have to get a second day Yom Tov in order to give the Gilui also in the Yom Tov Sheni, when there is no Beis Hamikdash, so they too can get that level of Riyah. And now, when you are able to see even in the lower level, that brings about a tremendous simcha, that even in the lower level, you're able to get the level of Riyah. The one who understands will understand how much the simcha will be increased with more force. Begilui hamelech, begilui achar gilui, when the king is revealed one after the other. Gam also l'cholam, when the king can come down also to all the people, not only to Sorav Avodah, but l'cholam, and that is yoiser megilui arisha shulchol Sorav. That's much greater than the first gilui, which is l'chol Sorav. Dafke only for the Sorav. Ukemashul ben kvar sheros hamelech. And it's like the example, if you have a villager who never is in the city, never gets to see the king, if he comes and sees the king, that's a tremendous simcha. It's a ben kvar sheros hamelech. That's similar to the idea that we say, Oifanim berash godel, that the Oifanim make a lot of noise. Why do they make more noise? Likabe hasrofim. The Surafim don't make the noise. Why do they make the noise relative to Surafim? Shalafi shoifanim v'chayis. Heim basi v'yitziro. Because the Farim and Chayis are in the level of Asi and Yitzira, they're in a lower level. So when they get the vision, they get all excited. Their noise becomes greater than the Srofim in Bria, more excitement. Become a duchti, as written elsewhere in many places. Like we find in the Tikkunim, Mayim Rabim these great waters cannot extinguish the love. That's begalusachulu. So it means that would get the greatest levels, the greatest excitement. Because then that love is with a thirst, and it's like you are sick of the love. It's such a love that you get sick because you're so missing it, and it's so important. Like the pasuk says, that my soul is thirsty to you when I'm in a land, a parched land, a tired land, when there's no water. When are you thirsty when there's no water? Because there is no water, that's why the thirst increases. Ayin al posik zeh bezoyer parshas vayikra daf chof aleph amud beis beparshas truma daf kuf mem soif amud aleph v'ayin mashikosu leil beparshas noyach bedibra maschil mayim rab bezohu v'ani ere besoinoi dafki. I'll get to the level of ere riya besoinoi is through the enemy, which means hain ma'yetzer hara. So when you have something blocking you, you have your enemy trying to stop you, and kadiskafia, and you're able to bend it and subdue it, then you get to the level of Riyah, the real level of enjoyment of Riyah. But this is what David HaMelech, this is something he prayed for. Kain ba'kodesh chazisicha. Likewise, just like in the parched land, when there's no water, then there's Tzomalach Nafshi. He prayed that Kain ba'kodesh chazisicha. That even when I should also see you. Re'iyah should be not only through Soinoi, but even by Kodesh. I am bezoyar truma davkuf mem tchilas amid beis. Sheyiyah ava kazu gam ba Kodesh. That also in Kodesh the hainu the milas umadreges hatzadikim. That even in the milas umadreges hatzadikim, the level and the advantage of tzadikim, they should also have that higher level of yearning and tshuva to the Eibishter. Kine avazu he mibchinas bal tshuva. This level is from the level of bal tshuva. Ubemokim shabal tshuva emdim ein tzadikim gemurim chulu. A place where bal tshuva stand, tzadikim can't stand, which means that the level of bal tshuva comes with more force because he's returning. But Moshe Rabbeinu, before he passed away, he merited the level of tshuva. So, talking about Kein B'Kodesh Chazisicha, sometimes you merit. Moshe Rabbeinu merited the level of Baal Tshuva, even in the level of a tzaddik. Umaylas HaMashiach, what do we talk about? The advantage of Mashiach is la'atzova tzaddikayu b'tiyufta, to bring the tzaddikim to the level of tshuva. Dahainu shetiya mailas umadreges hatshuva mizgale b'tzaddikim gemurim, that the advantage and the step of tshuva should be revealed in complete tzaddikim, shezeh tolui bevias Mashiach davke. That hinges on when Mashiach will come, there will be tzaddikim will be b'tshuva, And Moshe Rabbeinu got it before his passing. And Bezo came by Kodesh Chazisicha. This means came by Kodesh Chazisicha. Sheyeh bechinas la'asove tzadikai uchulu. To want to, so that even tzadikim should be tshuva. Tiklolus Yisrael tzrichim lachzer b'tshuva koidem biyas HaMashiach. Generally, the Jewish people need to return and do tshuva before Mashiach comes. Ubiyas HaMashiach tolu b'zeh. And the coming of Mashiach hinges on our doing tshuva. Mamer Azal, our sages of blessed memory say, Im Yisrael esim tshuva nigolim chulu. If the Yidden will do tshuva, they'll be redeemed. Avol tzadikim sheyizku l'maylas hatshuva yeh achar b'yis HaMashiach davke. But the level that tzadikim should reach the level of tshuva. That is, Mashiach is also, that will be after the coming of Mashiach. So basically, we don't have now the level of the Baal Tshuva, but we have the level of Baal Tshuva. That's what we need a second day Yom Tov in Chutz La'aretz in order to get to see the level. We're not in the level of Keim BaKodesh Chazisicha. We are in the level of the Tzamalucha Nafshi level of that we don't see, and therefore we need the second day Yom Tov to come down even to our level. Gam yesh lahoyir le'inyan Yom Tov Rishon ve'Yom Tov Sheni. Also to point out with regards to Yom Tov Rishon and Yom Tov Sheni, memashekosvu chachmei ha'emes, from what the sages of truth, the sages of the Kabbalah, they explain Bepirush Bayis Rishon uBayis Sheni. They say, what is this first Beis Hamikdash and the second Beis Hamikdash? Shehem, they say that they are the Hey Ilah, the two Heys, Yud K, the first Hey, and the Hey Tato, the second Hey. The first Beis Hamikdash is the first Hey, and the second Beis Hamikdash is the Vav K, the second Hey. Yom Tov Shel Rosh Hashanah Shechal Li is b'Shabbos. Ein Shom Ois Hey. Look over there in Ois Hey. Interesting. He's talking about the letter Hey, and over there he's telling you to look in the letter Hey, the Ois Hey, not the number Hey. V'lochein nikra b'china zu sheni. That's why we call this level, we call it second. Why second? Ki ois hey nichpala beis pa'amim b'shem Havaya. Why we call Yom Tov Sheni? We talk the second because this is the second hey. Because in the name of Hashem is a Sheni. That's what we call the Yom Tov Sheni, because this hey is the second one in the name of Yud Kei Vav Kei. There's the first hey and there's the second hey. It's a Yom Tov Sheni. It's the Yom Tov that has the second hey. Al derech zeh yesh lefarish b'inyan Yom Tov. And similar, we can also explain in Yom Tov, shall be Yom Tov Rishon mekablim Knesset Yisrael mibchinas hey ilah. On the first Yom Tov, they get from the upper level of the hey. Yom Tov Sheni mibchinas hey tato. They get from the second hey. Or yesh loymar, there's another way to say it. Ki gam mibchinas hey acharino, even in the second hey. Each hey, when you write it out, is hey, hey. Even in the second hey, yesh milui hey. It also is filled with a hey. So the second hey, like the Vav Kei, that hey also has hey, hey. The B'chinas ha'achpola. That is the idea of double. You have the Sheni. In other words, we don't have to say that the first Yom Tov is the upper hay and the second Yom Tov, the second hay, but it's both in the second hay, but it's either the letter hay or the duplicate, which is the hey, hey. Mashikosu be'inyan zdei ha'machpelah b'divra maschil yigal elon taimechul. And we can possibly say, Shizeu Inyan Yom Tov Sheni. Another way, Ve'efsher Shein Hein Hengam Kein Beis B'chinas Aspaklaria Hanal. There are also the two levels of Aspaklaria. They said there is the level of Aspaklaria Ha'me'ira and Aspaklaria She'ena Me'ira, that lights and doesn't shine. So those are the two levels of the first day Yom Tov and the second day Yom Tov. The Apizeh Shloimar, this we can say, Shazou Mashakosu Haramak, the Sefer Oir Nerev. He writes over there in the Sefer Oir Nerev, Shebechutz Loretz Einem Yecholim Lekabel HaHaore B'Yom Echad, K'moshe Mekablim B'Eretz Yisrael. That outside of Eretz Yisrael, we are not able to get the shine, the Ha'ore that comes down on Yom Tov in one day, as they could in Eretz Yisrael. Elo tzorich liyes Yom Sheni. You need a second day Yom Tov. What does it mean? So he explains. Kol Yom Tov hu hamshocha v'az galus kedusha el yoino milamaylam hazman v'bchinas hazman. Every Yom Tov, what we're doing is we're bringing down a higher, a supreme kedusha from higher in time into zman, into time. That means the Mamer, as we say, Kadesh Yisroel v'Hazmanim. He sanctifies Yidden and the days. We'll make a weekday Yom Tov. So that means that we're bringing down, we take a regular weekday and we make it Yom Tov. Yom Tov. That's why we make it into a Yom Tov. That means you're taking higher than time, bringing it down, making it into a good day. The oil that it's good, which means that you're making it into a Yom Tov. You have an oil, makes it Tov. That's the level of Yom Tov. Valderech Shara Chotzer Apnimis, it says in the Haftorah, in the Novi, Shara Chotzer Apnimis, Ubeyoim HaShabbos Yipaseach. So it opens up. So basically, what it means that there is on a Yom Tov, this is on a Shabbos, there is an opening up, there is a level of higher than Zman in Zman. And that's what we say, Mizmor Shir, the Yom HaShabbos, Tov L'Hodesh. Song of Self, Tov L'Hodesh. Ma'im HaShakosu Me'inyan Pirush Tov. Look what it says, we're explaining the word Tov, the Kitzur in the Mamer, in the Kitzur HaPosik, Ba'eschana. So V'hinei, Be'eretz Yisrael, Shenemar Bo, Eretz Asher, Eine Hashem Alekecho Doidesh Oiso. Says about it that it's a land that Hashem seeks it. So the Yom Tov, the Tov, the oil that comes down, Kitov, that makes it a Yom Tov, they can receive it in one day. But in Chutz La'aretz we need 2 days for that. We can't receive it in one day. Yesh lefarish. We're going to explain ki kol hamshochas ha'or l'mato v'ayidei hei achreinu d'shem havaya. The old hamshochas of the earth below comes through the latter lay hay of the Shem Havaya. V'yesh bo milu hay kinal. That also has a fill hay. So v'hinei k'moy hamilu shel hay, just like the fill of the hay. When you write the letter hey in writing, you don't need at all the fill. You can understand the letter well just by seeing the letter. When you have to verbalize it, then you have to also say, hey, you say the hey, you have the letter plus the milu. It's not sufficient without it. You know about when we talk about the way you read it and the way you write it, that the ksiv is in a higher letter. So it said that Shmi, Hashem's name, never am I pronounced the way, I've never written the way I'm pronounced, because the level of written is on a higher level than to verbalize the name of Hashem. Bekach, Eretz Yisrael, and likewise in Eretz Yisrael, licholim lekabel hashefa me'etzem ois hey Shem Havai. Over there, they can get from the letter hey directly. In the Mikdash, they would not say the word Adonai. They would actually pronounce as you write the name of Hashem with Yud Kei Vav Kei. Cannot just receive from that level alone. Only when it dresses up in the milui of hay. As for example, talk about the light and the ray of the sun. The closer that the light and the rays is to the luminary, to the source, Yoser Azainira Ma'ata Kamos Yoser. So then you can see quantity less. The closer you are to the Maker, you see less. V'achar shenimshach merichuk Maker, Ma Maker Azai Nikra Nazai Nira Rav Yoser. So then you can see it better. So the closer you see less, but the further it goes from the Maker, you see more. Like a well and a river. The well itself, because he's close to his source, who cut he's smaller. So, and the further he gets, it gets bigger. But the truth is that little of the well, that's like the entire river, even though it's less quantity, but it has the whole nor in there. And v'lochein, as we say, ragle achayis is connected kulam, because in the source it's equal to everything. V'lochein hamayim b'tayr b'kol shuch. And that's why the well can purify with any amount. You don't need no quantity. Why? Because the potency in the little is equal to the whole mind. V'ayin mashakosuf soiv divra maschil ma'im rabim b'parshas noyach u'mashakosuf b'shir hashirim soiv divra maschil shishim hema meloches b'inyan mayon v'nor. Zoh shakosuf b'rabes b'shir hashirim al posik. There it says in the Shraba, Simuni Noitra Esakromim. They placed me as a guardian, says in the Posik, a guardian of a watchman over the orchards. So it says in the Medrash Rabbah, Omer of Knesset Yisrael. So Knesset says like this: Be'eretz Yisrael, Hayisi Shoimer Yom Echad. In Eretz Yisrael, I would watch one day. Achshov Shnei Yomim. Now I'm watching 2 days. Svura Hayisi lekabel schar al Shneim. I thought I'm going to get paid for watching 2 days. Ve'ena mekabeles elo al yom echad. I'm only getting paid reward just for 1 day. Because Shari, what means to say the reward, the giluyim that we get in 2 days is not additional to what they get in Eretz Yisrael in 1 day. it's the same gilui in 2 days what takes place in 1 day. That ray that shines in Chutz La'aretz over 2 days, Meir Eretz Yisrael b'yom echad. In Eretz Yisrael, it comes in 1 day. L'korvosei el mekoirei, because of its closeness to its source. V'ayin zoyer chelik aleph seipachis teach. I'm above base. Gam, in addition, another point. K'moi be'etzem ha'ois hei koilel kol gam ken hamilu shaloi. Just like in the actual etzem of the last letter, there's also the fill is included. Shehi hei hashniya, that's the second day. Hiklula behelem gam ken be'etzem ha'ois chulu. So it's actually included in the word itself. So when you have the hay, you have the other levels. So you have it both in the hay itself. Yet, that there is an additional advantage in this second day of Yom Tov is Gamkin Nochem. It's also true. It seems like everything we get in the second day Yom Tov, we get on the first day. So what's the advantage? We said we have 5 Barash Godel, we said about Tshuva, higher level, but that's true too. Pima shechosim mokamachar kain gabne, binyan hamilui, shezeu iker hakavona liyis hagil lamata. Because that's the main intention, is to be the revelation below. The Rizal writes in explaining the saying, you say Amen Yishmerabba with all your koyach, upirush koyach adnai, the koyach adnai, and koyach oisius milui, amilu shel Hashem. The koyach means, with all koyach means you not only say you make the milui also. That's the name adnai, milu shel Hashem chulu. Now I don't see where this parenthesis begins. You see where the parenthesis begins? Huh?
Yes, Rabbi. It's what I just was patient until you're gonna get to the end, and I want to ask you check up one thing. That last part that you read, it starts from Gam yesh lehayer, right?
No, where? No.
You check up your text.
Hold on 1 second. Let me just shut this down for a second. Hold on.